back out. We're already live. The little ticker's running. So
yeah, there it is.
You're stuck now.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. And you know, it's funny that we go live at 9 o'clock just as my computer screens go to eggshell white because I have my computer set to, to save my eyes to go to this off-white color at 9 o'clock. So it's like right around the time we go live is when my screen dims, and it's always off-putting. Hello, everyone out there. Hello. Come on in, as Randy always says. Come on in, have a seat in the back.
Have a
There's
seat.
Donuts and coffee.
Yes.
There's no donuts and coffee.
Did you bring donuts?
I didn't because have people mooching.
Because I see you up there chewing on something. It's like, okay, you got enough for the class?
I am chewing.
that damn Travis helping himself to the powdered donuts again. Blast it.
I'll tell you guys, and this is, I know we normally babble before the end of the show, but during the start of the show, but
we babbled during the whole show. What are you talking about?
I have a really tough time eating powdered donuts or any type of dessert that's powdered. And the reason why is because of one little movie, Flowers in the Attic. When the grandmother puts the powdered stuff and takes it up to the kids and it's all poison.
Ooh.
That was enough for me as a kid. I was like, nope, I'm straight.
Never again. Yeah, but your parents let you watch all sorts of questionable stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah, they did.
It was that long talk after a clock. You watched A Clockwork Orange. That was especially frightening. So.
Yeah.
There's Eric. Eric.
We'll see if this is any better. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
There you go.
Suffering things here at a Motel 6 in the middle of Madison Heights, and the free Wi-Fi is not even registering half a megabyte.
It's probably because it's not that free. So.
Yeah.
Did you give a message? I told you that message them down there to the front desk, tell them to reset the modem.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fool with that guy.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. Screw to you, Eric. I'm not resetting the modem.
Pretty much that's the answer I'm expecting. Because there's an option when you sign in for the first time to pay for high-speed internet.
Mm-hmm.
It all at once is a prepaid card. So I go down and was like, hey, where do I get the prepaid card for this? I have no idea what you're talking about. Just hit the free internet. Okay.
They'll offer it. They offer it to you, but you don't want it. Yeah.
Customer
We've never had
service
anybody take them up on that. They've never had anybody take them up on that offer. That's
you want to pay?
No
yeah, exactly. You want to pay us for net? What?
Yeah, it's.
What are you, some sort of weirdo?
We go to so many hotels, and you start to realize there are hotels, and then there are places to stay.
Yeah.
And
this is at least a clean bed and the electricity works.
Yeah. There's So like,
what more do you need?
Yeah, because I've gone like there's a red roof right around where you're at.
Oh yeah, no.
That red roof is horrible.
That's not even a place to stay. What are you talking about?
Well, see,
we're not picking them up as
Red
sponsors.
Roof kind of I think Red Roof kind of goes with just not a place I want to be in. Just none of them.
You know what's weird though is I stayed in I think it was in Columbus, Ohio. I stayed in a really nice red roof. I don't know maybe it was new. And I expected
maybe they had a manager that cared.
Yeah. It was really nice. I would recommend it to anybody, but then I went to, the one that I went to a couple weeks ago, and I was like, never again. And at worst, I called them, and I'm like, hey, my room sucks. And they're like, oh, they had bed bugs. I'm like, I can't stay here. And they offered me a free room, a free night.
With more bed
VIP
bugs.
pass. And I'm like, I don't want to stay ever again. But it was either that or fight for 6 weeks to get my money back. So I'm like, I'll take the free room. Just give me the free room.
Give me a free room in another location somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'll roll the dice on that one.
Yeah. So next time I go to Columbus, I'll try it. I'll try there. So yeah, we're all ready to start our show. Let us get into it. I'm gonna hit the intro, Randy, and we're gonna talk funny books.
Cool. Let's talk funny books.
All right. Here
You got it? You want me to hit it? I can hit it.
I got it.
You got it? Take it.
Here we go.
Hang on, folks.
The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and, oh my god, why are you even watching this? Just run away. This shit is going to give you nightmares. For real. The program is rated TV MA NSFW OMFG GAF TTV BYGAS. Why are you still here? Seriously, don't watch this. We can't warn you strongly enough. Do you need a doctor of some kind? What is the matter with you?
Read, everyone. Read. Hello. My name is Grant. I am the founder of Indieversity Media. Comics since 2008. I'm illustrator, contributor, publisher, everythinger now.
Everything.
Yeah. And father, geek, husband, video gamer, all that good stuff. Very reluctant taxpayer. Every year I become more reluctant to pay taxes, but there's a thing called jail, and I don't want to go there. I've never been to jail. Not even to visit anybody. I don't intend on going.
It's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah. And I'm going to stay out as long as I can. I am joined, as always. No Indie Princess tonight, guys. She's catching up on homework.
She's getting her education tonight.
Yeah, yes. She's getting her education. And but I'm joined by Randy Zimmerman.
Off of books. Hey, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I'm a longtime alternative and independent comics creator, producer, publisher. Published under many different names, freelanced under many others. Arrow Comics really is the big one for me now. I'm working real hard on bringing Arrow Comics back to the retailers with a few books a month for the rec market. Looking forward to getting that rolling. We are exclusive with Liberty Entertainment Distributors, and looking forward to building up a regular schedule here very soon. So other than that, just happy to be here and part of the Indie Volt radio network. So should I start mentioning I'm a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, we can add that in there too.
For the Indie Volt Awards. I'll have to start. I'll have to come up with a spiel and just leave it hung up over here and just read it. I'm a father, a publisher, cat lover, whatever. That kind of thing. Reverend, who knows?
Yeah, you can always add that in.
We're also joined tonight by Mr. Eric Hodson. Eric, introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Eric Hodson here. I'm the dreaded dinosaur man. Transmitting from parts unknown, otherwise known as a sketchy Motel 6 in Madison Heights, Michigan. Happy to be here. Publisher, creator of Dreaded Dinosaur Man, a webtoon who is being plastered on a wall. I'll be downtown in Detroit doing some filming tomorrow with the folks from DoorDash, and hopefully some media correspondence, and hoping to wrap this project up, and it'll be done, and it'll be cool.
They should be just about done with that, huh?
It's really close. I had got an email earlier today where there was some space on the wall that didn't get picked up because I didn't get exact measurements to work with when I did the mock-up.
Mm-hmm.
So the mural painter is projecting the mock-up on the side of the building. And however, he sized it that left some extra space. So I did some emergency panel extensions, moved some things around. And so after the 30th, it's supposed to all be completely done. And anybody who wants to can head down to 1842 Michigan Avenue and check it out.
Cool. But you're going to go down and take some videos so that we can play it on the show, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I tried to convince Eric to come take me, but he knows I want. He knows I'm trying to hog the spotlight.
Well, if everything works out right, V just going to have a small little corner up in the top where he's visible because I added some new panels. So your Dinosaur Man character makes a cameo.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. First appearance on the building.
First appearance on a wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Won't be the. Well, I was saying, won't be the first time that I had something to do with a wall being painted. This time it's legal though.
For once, you're on a wall, not up against one.
Yeah. I'll let that one go for now. If I keep going on, we'll get canceled. We just got monetized, damn it. Mr. Bennet.
Yes, I'm Eric Bennet. I'm a member of Coalition Comics with the Power Company, member of G-Man Comics. My own imprint is Angry Bear Press. I am a writer, a letterer, a professional graphic artist. I work for a weather company by 9 to 5. Dad, soccer dad, scoutmaster. That's me in a nutshell.
Do you draw a lot of rain?
I do. I do. And I got lots of people asking me if my magic pen can make it go around you, and I'm like, no. I always say that the forecasters give me chicken scratch and I make art.
There you go. Yep. That just means you're a commercial artist then. Yeah.
I am.
And Mitch.
Yes, I'm Mitch Rogers. I am the writer, artist, creator of the Boger, an indie comic book character. And I'm also the publisher of Celtic Cross Studios and all-around show-off.
I like that all-around show. I might steal that one.
Yeah, you're giving variant ideas there. Be careful.
Well, last night I decided I was like, I'm gonna start calling myself Bob Ross of the tongue.
Oh,
Right. Like with my tongue, I am Bob Ross.
that might be a little suggestive.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
You're all licking trees happy.
Yeah, honey, have some happy clouds. Give me a second.
But what made me think about it is that I was watching wrestling last night, and Sunday night, and it was Sunday night, and the guy said, he's Bob Ross of a steel chair, and I thought that was hysterical, and I said, I'm stealing it. It's mine. I'm not Bob Ross of the tongue. And then I'm like, my wife was like, no, you're not. But yeah. Like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
Everyone's a critic.
Yeah, everyone's a critic. Guys, so thanks for being here tonight. And of course, as always, we've got questions that need your expertise answering them. Let me make sure I got them all pulled up here. They best be all here. One is not. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's okay. We'll get it up there. Let's start with the first one though.
It's where we usually start.
Yeah, the first one. And we'll let Randy read them since Randy's got the sweet sultry voice.
You need a sweet sultry voice on this one?
That's right, I do.
Kellyanne, thanks a lot for writing in. My girlfriend is none too pleased with me going to cons to push my book. She thinks it's a waste of time since I have to pay for table and can just spend the time pushing the book online and keeping my in-demand store open. What do you guys think? Kellyanne, thanks for writing in.
I mean, there's no substitute for pressing the flesh at a show. And for those of you in the millennial generation, that means a handshake. But because people want, there's a certain amount of people who'll just be happy getting the book and reading it. But for a large percentage of people, especially people who go to cons, they're going to want that personal experience with the creator. The work is going to mean that much more to them if they've met you, got an idea of what kind of person you are, who you are, heard your passion about your work from your own cake hole, and that goes a long way and can help spread, from the person that you meet there to other people and help grow your brand. And then, of course, you want to cast as wide a net as possible. So if you're limiting yourself to just being online, you're also limiting all your sales potential and your growth potential. So, I mean, just as a proper business decision, as long as it's economically feasible on the books, do shows, do everything you can on the internet, do appearances in comic book stores, go all over, and really, if this is what you want to do, you've got to put the pedal to the metal.
I like that, Eric. I also want to say that if you, I mean, you can, an in-demand store is great, but remember, they take more from you when you go in demand afterwards. There's, they take more money, and then I see a lot of people that start to just depend on that, and I think that's a big mistake. You should be trying to get your book elsewhere, because there are some people who don't like crowdfunding because they don't think they're going to get the book.
Yeah.
I've got books out there right now that I've still have not got. I got a book out there. It's been, I backed that book in 2019 and it has still not come out. And, the publisher, they said, oh, it's at the printer. It's getting printed. And this is the last book I'm going to get from them. The only reason I got it too, I was trying to help a friend out. And then with the first one I got, and then my son is interested in the characters now. He wants to see how it all ends. So that's the only reason I picked up the trade, which has not manifested itself yet. But yeah, I mean, maybe convention is not a waste of time. Take her to a show. The networking opportunities it shows can lucrative, and not just even lucrative, but just like important associations later on. 2 years from now, somebody you meet might actually be able to give you a job, or you might be able to hire them.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, if you limit yourself to just a single platform, what if you lose that platform? What if you get canceled? What if the platform itself gets canceled? How are you available to your public then? You're just putting yourself in a corner.
Yeah.
What if you lose that platform?
Now
Somebody's double speaking. We're getting an echo all of a sudden.
I think somebody's watching on YouTube. Anybody else want to weigh in on this?
You can't put all your eggs in one basket at this point with comics. You need to do and get out there in front of as many people as you're comfortable with getting out in front of. That's the whole thing. And if you like doing shows, if you find shows to be profitable for you at all, do shows. Keep doing shows. Just be careful. Stay healthy.
Yeah. My own experience, cons is a very important aspect of both marketing and networking. I've gotten most of my readership over the years through cons and mainly other creators. I meet other creators, they have their own readers, and their readers ask them what they're reading. They mention me, I get more readers. That's kind of the way it goes a lot of times. And cons are a big way to gather that word of mouth. And just like Randy said, it's just not good to limit yourself, limit the outlets that you want to put books out in.
Yeah, this market's too small to limit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to get out there in front of as many people. Oh, I met that guy at a show. Oh, you never know where that's going to carry you. You never do. Or I met that person at the show, or I saw that book at the show. I talked to the author. They were really cool. It was a great time. You never know how that's going to pay off in the long run. You can sit here and talk online till you're blue in the face, or you can have an in-demand store you're hoping people will run to. How are you going to pull people into the store unless you're out there promoting it all the time in as many different ways as possible? You really, really need to do that. Plus, you also, I think it was Eric that said that the in-demand store, or Varian might have said the in-demand store might be a little too expensive. You might want to keep running some sort of different campaign out there in order to try to push your book as well. as opposed to just have a store, internet store, online, Amazon, wherever you got to be. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you can't promote, or you can't depend upon these platforms to be dependable in giving you an income source. That's when we've mentioned that before on the air.
Agreed. Anybody else? I think that Eric, did you say?
I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to that sort of thing. The guys that I work with are always giving me grief that I don't push my stuff or market my stuff nearly as much as I should. So that's something I'm actually not real good at.
I think that, again, in Kellyanne, go out there and do some cons. Go out there, start small, and do some, and let your girlfriend see that, you're making money and that you're creating a bigger fan base. And make sure those fans have somewhere to reach out back to you, because so many times they go to shows and they don't. I see people always advertising their comics, the next issue in their books. Maybe advertise where you can be contacted at. Like if you got a streaming show, if you draw every week, hey, go check out my YouTube. I'm drawing every week. You can watch the next issue be drawn. That type of stuff. People love interacting with the creators. I was looking at a Toy Galaxy video. They said that the internet is kind of really what hurt Wizard magazine, because now you had direct access to all the creators thanks to the internet. You no longer have to wait for Wizard to have that interview with Frank Miller. You could just get it. You can contact him directly. Also, well, not to harp on Wizard, but one of the guys who worked there said that he knew for a fact that they were still using this is going to date them very badly, but they were still using Yahoo business pages for their website, and you were only able to update that 3 times a day. So they were getting scooped like crazy. So it was very interesting. Very interesting.
It's the comic media business. How do you get scooped?
Yeah, you got scooped.
But of course the whole situation was different back then as opposed to now.
Yeah,
it's now they just grab whoever's press release and just plop it on a site, unless they do in-depth any type of in-depth reporting, which is rare and few and far between. You don't see a whole lot of that going on. Real news, yeah. Anyway, Indie Volt does that. Bounding does that. Every once in a while, when they want to fearmonger, Bleeding Cool will do that. Depending upon what Johnson wants to Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson wants to Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all the news I hear from Bleeding Cool anymore.
Good luck wading through the articles. I was up on.
Yeah.
I popped up on Bounding, and I'm like, "What is this Bleeding Cool? What the Bounding? Jesus Christ! Pop-up ads. Hit the X. Hit the X. Hit the X. Hit the X. Maybe be able to read the article."
Yeah, the last time I went
guys,
there, I
calm
did
down.
not care for the new layout whatsoever.
But that Johnson's site, it's always been bad for that. It's just you think you're reading an article and suddenly, boom, here's an ad. Great. Yeah. Worse than you. Well, okay, nothing's worse than YouTube sometimes, but almost. Watch YouTube anymore. Every 5 minutes, a commercial pops up.
You know what? I
don't want to pay for commercials. YouTube. It's kind of defeating.
Yeah, and they keep begging you too. It's like, you want to listen to this in the background? Not if I'm paying money.
Yeah, I got suckered. I did it, and I'll tell you, it's weird because if my wife is watching YouTube and a commercial pops up, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, why am I what? And she's like, I'm not paying for it. I can't watch this. I can't watch YouTube. Like, I scroll past Facebook videos. There's shit happening in the world. I'll never know how it ended.
You need to stand in the middle of your room sometime with YouTube playing on the TV, which is what I usually watch YouTube in my living room. And you stand in the middle of the living room and you say the most esoteric things you can think of. And then you watch the commercials pop up on YouTube.
Yep.
You know what I like to do? I set my VPN to Japan. The commercials are so much better.
There you go. More entertaining.
I set my VPN to was it Canada or the UK once, and I forgot, and I logged into Netflix, and I'm like, what the fuck is this stuff? I couldn't understand what I was. I was like, what is this? And then
It's like they're talking a foreign language here.
yeah. It's very highbrow entertainment at that point.
Lorry? What is a lorry?
Yeah, I know a lorry.
Exit.
No few lorries. Yeah.
All right.
Gonna stash something in your boot? What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Here we go.
That's not a bum.
Why does everybody sound like Russ Leach all of a sudden?
Yeah, everyone.
Papa Cap returns once again. Yeah, Papa, we're glad you listened. What is the best piece of advice you guys feel that every indie publisher must know? Papa Cap.
How to run a business.
Yeah, how to run a business would be great. Look, I'll tell you this. I don't know if anyone else has had a situation, but when you start a company, make sure that you know how to do everything. Because if you start delegating tasks that you can't do, that's how you end up finding yourself on the outside. I had my very first company years ago. I couldn't build websites to save my life, and now, and what ended up happening is I ended up paying for a website 3 times that I never got, because the website developer knew I could just use this guy for money. I'll just keep, every month there's a new problem. Oh, well, that's going to cost $200 to fix. Oh, that's going to cost $400 to fix. The website was $600 to start. And it's like, and at the end of it all, I still don't have a website. So learn that if you're going to be delegating tasks, learn what it is you're delegating. Know how to do it yourself.
Your HTML5 fluid is low. I'm going to have to charge you.
Yeah. Let's see.
You want to say on Seinfeld, your Johnson rod's broken.
We have another
Johnson rod.
Yeah, there you go. You have another person in the chat writing a novel.
I was on a remote island one year and utilized smooth driftwood sticks and seawater. Cold did the job. I never put over a day. Perfect traveling. At home. Yeah.
I first purchased a home unit. I opened the package, and a good friend introduced me to the portable one. He's looking for a bidet. Yeah. I just needed to return the permanent home model and get my money back. Yes. Anyway.
Good man.
Yep. Best piece of advice I received, quote, always keep learning about art, publishing, and marketing. That's a good one from Joe.
You could also open some of the comics, like the bidet water slash in there.
It all depends upon the comic.
It's anything from Marvel is fine. Anything current year Marvel. Carlos Raphael says, why are so many creators fearful of crowdfunding campaigns? I think they don't want to fail. And they don't want to the thing what
they don't want to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't. Did I say that out loud?
You get to extremes. You get people who don't do it because they don't want to work, and you get people who do it because they think they're hitting the lottery. It's just going to be all this free money coming in. And both extremes just kind of sour it.
Free money.
He pulled down 30K. I can pull down 60. I know I can.
Oh no, I didn't pull down 60. Here I come.
And the fragile egos, because you've got all those people in the middle who, when their campaign fails, they go jump off a bridge or something, or they get down you take it personally, and that's a big clue that you don't know what you're doing business wise, and there's a lot of things that you need to learn.
That's the best piece of advice you can give to every indie publisher that they really need to know. Get an education about the market.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to run a business. Know what it's like. You're going to have to snoop around online for a little while and listen to other people and try to learn from their mistakes, and listen from their pluses and minuses. That get to know what you're doing before you start doing it. Don't go in blind on this, or you're going to spend money and lose money,
Mm-hmm.
like Varian and his websites.
Yeah. Learn how to build a website, and then once you learn to build a website, guess what you can do? You could now you can continue the cycle of abuse. Now you can. Now
Well, I
you
can
can
do
go out
that
there.
for you, but it'll cost you $300. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, oh, your HTML fluid's low, man. $300. I gotta run the Micro Center, pick up some more fluid.
Get some internet gas working.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what that is?
Yeah.
Because when I first heard that, I was like, "What is internet gas?"
Kibblesmith knows what it is.
It's where that Daniel Kibblesmith genius.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is.
What? I remember that. I was like, what is internet gas? And can I get some? Is it a soft drink?
It takes, you have to go to the right store or the right restaurant, get the right combination of foods. Absolutely. Sit there in front of the computer and give yourself some internet gas. Yeah.
It's Mountain Dew and Doritos.
For you, maybe. Could be sauerkraut and Vienna sausages for other people. Brussels sprouts. That'll work. The cauliflower. That could broccoli. Powerful generators right there. Get yourself some internet gas today. We should get a sponsor selling internet gas.
You can never be too internet gassy.
Oh yeah.
No, never. Here you go, Randy.
It's the Dutch Oven Company. Say what? I lost my virginity to a girl dressed as an Ewok in the Wizard World Chicago bathroom in 2003. If she's out there, thanks for making a man out of me, Amanda. Oh, hopefully,
Okay.
Is that the girl's name, or is that Amanda writing in, happy that she's been made a man thanks to a girl dressed as an Ewok at the Wizard World Chicago bathroom in 2003?
Hence why this is a say what question of the day. What?
Say what? oh, that's your say what?
Yeah.
Suddenly
That's
all is plain now.
Say what? Say what?
Yeah.
That must have been a fun time.
I would never look at Ewoks.
I don't know about this person, but I don't think of Ewoks in that fashion.
No, I mean, I know furries might, but even still.
There it is. I'm waiting for someone to say that.
I would imagine that there's a comma there between me and Amanda. Amanda was actually the girl who was the Ewok.
Yeah, I believe so, because it wasn't set like a name, because there was no name in the in the write up there. But look.
And this guy has never been laid since. That's the problem.
That's probably why that's probably why they're looking for it.
Thanks. I want to relive that experience, Amanda.
You still have the costume? It's horrible. Yeah. I thought I had one more question.
Not that costume. No.
I thought I had one more question, but apparently I don't.
This wasn't really a question either, but
no.
It was amusing.
Yeah, poor guy. Amanda, if you're out there, hang out.
Remember,
bathroom, I guess.
And remember, kids, convention sex is always risky. Make sure you stay protected at all times. Use protection.
What kind of STDs do you get from Ewoks?
You don't want to know.
Find out on IndieVolt tonight.
You don't know. You don't know the size of the crabs. Anyway,
I'm just thinking about trying to use the force to get rid of an STD. That's just horrible.
Might not have been the force that was strong with that one. It could have been the internet gas.
It may have been. I thought I had another question, but it looks like I don't. So I think that's it, and we will move into looking at some of these books.
For all. Well,
but before we do that, Randy, I was asked by popular demand.
It's deferred to those who know. Then they won't have to fix your mess. Yeah. That's just, The sad thing is that we actually caught teens at our show before having sex in the bathrooms. Oh, this is Mark Hodges, GR Comic Con. The sad thing is we've actually caught teens at our show before having sex in the bathrooms, dressed as anime characters, so I can actually buy this story as truth.
I gotta know if they were in character. I've got to know if they were in character. As sad as it is, I've got to know. But I'll find out later, Mark. I'll find out off air. If
You know,
I
you
mean-
should just remove yourself to what you do is you look at you look at the watch when it gets to be about 1 o'clock in the middle of the day of the show. You lean over and you go, "Hey, it's 1 o'clock. Let's go. We'll be right back. We'll see you." Just skip out and then come back a couple hours later. Right? Happens all the time at show. You come up to a booth and say, "Hey, where's this guy?" We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if
He's
I
out
can do
getting
that.
some internet gas.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Did you see a little Ewok walking around earlier?
I'm never going to watch Return of the Jedi the same way ever again.
Let's
No,
just be glad it's not Jawas, okay?
After the
thought it
holiday
was-
special, whoever could.
Every time I see this the Ewok scene, I'm just going to think sex in a bathroom for some reason.
That's Wizard World on top of
Can't
it.
unsee that now.
Yeah.
Just look at all those little houses up in the tree. You think they were just sleeping in there?
I mean,
That was a
who
hell of a
calls the-
party. That was a hell of a party.
Yeah, just ask yourself, in the Return of the Jedi, they give Leia that dress. Where did they get that dress from?
Fine, plant.
She did seem very happy when, at that part of the movie after she's been living with him for a while.
That's true, but I don't know. I just
Remember they cooked over an open fire before Han.
Yeah.
GR Comic Con says I didn't see it personally. It was it was our logistics guy a few years back. The boy was dressed as a Dragon Ball character. Gives new meaning to it's over 9,000. LOL.
I just want to know, as he came, did he scream out Kamehameha?
That's TMI.
Well, he has to. You kind of have to at that point. I mean, you just. I did have another question here, Randy, but for some reason it will not open. So I'm just gonna read it.
That's why you shut your camera off.
No. I was rubbing my eye, and I was like, sometimes that freaks people out. I did get a message.
Oh,
where
yeah,
someone said,
Don't do that. I do that a lot. Just
Yeah.
reach up there. Yeah.
I messaged once that somebody told me that when I rub my eye, it freaked them out. So I'm like, really? Okay, well, I just won't rub my eye on. Eric, you said you have to get out of here.
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes.
All right, and
Before you have to start paying for Wi-Fi,
yeah, they're gonna get their money from Eric. They're gonna
Yeah.
get cash.
get that.
That's right.
You owe us. You've been watching too much.
I'm
Much
watching the
Wi-Fi for
internet.
you?
I'm just watching the internet gas gauge, and I just want to catch it before it gets to E.
Right. So I'll put the question up like this. Here it is.
No more net for you.
Here it is, Randy.
Goji, thanks for writing in. As a trans person, I want to applaud you splooge rags for keeping it 100% real and honest with no fucking pandering. Keep the shit going, mattress stains. We love you too, Goji.
Why did we call it mattress things? I mean,
Obviously, they realized that Eric's at a hotel.
And there is the Splooge Regs t-shirt, which is for sale on the indievault.com store.
That too.
you can
please.
get the spool direct
Yep.
shirt.
And how much is that shirt?
25, I believe.
What is that?
25.
Yeah.
With shipping?
No, not with shipping, no, because we don't do the shipping. It's printed
They
elsewhere.
do all that
and sent.
shipping at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what?
What can Brown do for you?
yeah.
No.
Also, Randy,
Yes.
I was asked by popular demand.
Oh, Mark says continuing that story. I know he was caught in mid thrust. The girl was beyond embarrassed. Bet she never had public sex again.
No, she
never
girl
know.
probably
You never
freaked
know.
out.
You never know.
Poor girl, and she probably dresses like some lame character or something like Ranma. Well, not
It's a good-
Ranma. Ranma's not lame. But
It's a good thing
imagine
they were
that, that'd
anime
be weird.
characters and they weren't portraying characters from Faust. Then
That'd be weird.
she
Randy,
got surprised.
I was asked to talk about this. I was asked by Jody McPhee. I think it was Jody. Was it? Remember
Joe?
Pops?
Not
I was asked to talk about this. We talked about it. It's been on my page.
I saw that.
Oh yeah. Well, what can you do?
So I had to go check because I thought I had been Mandela infected. I was like, oh,
And again, another great example of current comic media
Yeah.
on the ball.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah,
this
because they-
you're not even checking Wikipedia
Is that-
before you write something.
Is that an actual picture of Art Adams there?
it is.
Because I
Yeah, they
wouldn't
also
know.
missed Jim Steranko because everyone knows he helped influence or start Image Comics.
Yes, of course.
They've got, but they're also on that same page. And you know, listen. Here's the thing. I like Screen Rant. This I want to think this is a isolated incident.
Screen Rant misinformation is tight.
That's right.
Yes. It's tight.
What are you writing? An article? What kind of article? The wrong one. Okay, then.
Comics. You write comics.
So here's an Art Adams thing, and it's still there. It is. It's wrong. The Michael Choi, which is okay, fine.
I'm
Here's the
sorry.
problem.
I've never heard of Michael Choi.
The John Byrne. That's not John Byrne.
I wrote you and asked him if John Byrne's been sick because man, that doesn't. Wow.
Right. That's the painter John Byrne. Now, it's led me down a dark path.
Aren't those comics behind him right there?
No. It's led me to think
They're not the same person. Eric had to jump. His internet gas ran out.
he broke it outside of the internet road. Be careful of that Zuckerberg. He's out there.
Yeah, really.
Here's the problem. That John Byrne is a painter, but I'm wondering if I can get a cover from him for cheap now and say, hey, I got a John Byrne cover.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, the article's wrong.
And out of all of the images to run, X-Men The Hidden,
That's not even a book.
that is a John Byrne illustration.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
Did he just do the cover?
I forgot he. Yeah. God.
This Neil Adams, Clayton Crane,
No.
Dave Cockrum,
Now, who made this list? That's what I want to know.
Bill Steger,
Probably somebody up there at Screen Rant. Hey, you know what'd be cool? Top 10 artists that worked on X-Men.
Paul Smith,
Sorry, I
Frank Quietly.
slipped into my Stan Lee there for a second.
and Jim Lee. Now, this is all wrote by
Number one, Jim Lee, not Jack Kirby. Dave Cockrum's way up the list. John Byrne's way up the list.
Yeah.
You know, no, and like Mitch said, no Jim Steranko. He was on that book. No Barry Windsor Smith. He was on that book for a couple issues. No Werner Roth, of course, but you know, Werner Roth's books just his reprints outsold his originals. That's why they started New X-Men back up. That's why they ran the numbering at 97.
This article was wrote by Shariah Thapa. 519 articles published. Shariah is an Indian freelance journalist who mostly dabbles in writings on cinema, music, and human interest features. When it comes to Screen Rant, he writes lists on probably a wide range of.
It's a good thing he's not a regular writer on comics, then, huh?
Yes, he writes on a wide array of subjects ranging from international films to mainstream Netflix series and comic book trivia. He also hosts a podcast called INDIEWIRE, an Indian parody of IndieWire.
Well, you know, can you trust the guy's comic trivia? That's what I want to know.
I'm tempted to read more articles, but I'm afraid.
He's not the same one that wrote the top 10 Batman artists, did he? Because I have a problem with that list too. It's not that they got anything wrong. It's like, all right, SOBs, where the hell's Jerry Robinson in all of this? Come on. Top 10 Batman artists.
I don't know who that is. That's what I know. I know who that is.
Jerry Robinson?
I know. I'm just he'll say he doesn't know who that is.
Oh no, he won't know who that is. Just another example of how a lot of these folks up there are writing and not knowing anything about their history.
Yeah.
And seriously, a top 10 X-Men artists, and you're not listing Kirby. What were you, born in the 80s?
Hey, I was, thank you.
I was born in the 80s. I know who Jack Kirby is.
There you go. You know who Jack Kirby is.
Yeah. I remember I've told the story before, but there was a
Well,
Randy was talking about,
those X-Men never existed. So
Randy was talking
except
about
for
Wally
Neil
Wood
Adams.
one day, and I said,
Neil Adams was on X-Men. What, maybe 4 issues?
not long, not long. I don't believe he's on there.
He made the list.
Yeah. There was a time Randy was talking about Wally Wood, and I said, "Who was that?" And he stopped. He said, "What?" And so I got an education on Wally Wood really quickly, but I decided once to mess with him at a show. We're at Great Lakes Comic Con, and there's Bob Layton over there, and I said, "Who's that?" And it's Bob Layton. I said, "Who's Bob Layton?" And Randy turned around and shouted, I'm kidding. I knew I was getting ready to get a whole new
That's because you didn't know who Wally Wood was. I figured if you don't know who Wally Wood is, maybe you don't know who Bob Layton is. I had to tell you who Russ Manning was.
Yeah. I'm some people I don't.
Russ who?
Yeah. Some people I don't. Now, also, Indie Radio, thanks for listening, guys. We are at 72,805. So thank you for listening, Indie Radio. Appreciate it.
We hope everybody's internet gas gauges are up to date.
Randy, we've sold some stuff. We've got trophies coming. They've been ordered. We're waiting for them.
Further update on that experience at GR Comic Con. Marsh says probably saved her from an unwanted pregnancy. LOL.
You can't go to the Comic Con and
we need to know if she was dressed as an Ewok. Just anime characters. The guy was dressed as Dragon Ball.
You gotta have safe Comic Con. If you're gonna borrow friction from a friend, you need to do so safely, and especially a new friend.
I was at a very memorable MarCon once in Columbus. That was interesting. But anyway, go ahead.
That's right. You guys lead a con with party favors. Those itchy boys is dangling all over you. All right.
Those were the days.
It'll mess up your Saturday night. I'm telling you. So now, Randy, we got through the questions. Indie Radio did have a question for us, and that was
Carlos asks if Art ever did do an X-Men issue. He mostly did annuals, New Mutants, and one shots. Yeah, did that long shot miniseries. They had that right on the Screen Rant article.
Yeah. So he did some research.
I think we might have to go through that article just to pick on it, just to embarrass that guy. So maybe he'll do a little bit more factual research next time he starts typing an article.
He'll do an article on Indie Comics next. He'll list
top 10 indie artists. Make sure that Zimmerman guy isn't up there. Grant, screw him. There we go.
Yeah, or I'll get listed as I don't know. I'll get listed as never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
But a lot of these lists also are made to generate anger and for people to write in. That might have been intentional on the writer's part. And even finding the wrong John Byrne, they probably were in a hurry on the internet. Oh, there's a picture of Mr. John Byrne. Looks like he's doing art. Put this in there. But sometimes they make those lists on purpose just to piss people off.
Randy Zimmerman started Terraform Comics. That's what it'll say.
Calls himself the comic advocate. Yeah.
Asses.
Carlos says, 4 or 5 issues, but Neil's issues are classics or a blink of an eye run. For a blink of an eye run. Well, so's Barry Windsor Smith, so's Steranko's, but they didn't mention them, did they?
See, I would get pissed off. I'd be ready to fight if somebody told me, "Oh, Barry, yeah, you did 5 issues of X-Men. It was shit. We don't even look at your 5 issues." That was 8 months of my life, guys.
Well, when Neil went over to Marvel anyway, he literally asked them, "What's your lowest selling book?" And they said X-Men. So give me that. I'll do that because he had complete freedom. Nobody was going to complain about his panel layouts or whatever. He had the freedom to tell a story however he wanted. That's why he did X-Men in the first place. It wasn't because, hey, that Cyclops is really hot. Let me draw that character.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he give Angel the halfway decent costume? The blue.
I think he gave everybody different costumes during that run. Yeah. Everybody suddenly decided, hey, we don't like the black and yellow. We're just going to dress up in whatever.
Yeah, the Angel had that terrible yellow top with red pants.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But then I thought that Neil Adams is the one who gave him the real nice blue and white one.
Was it blue and white with the white interior?
Right
and
down
blue,
the center,
blue
yeah. With the
Is that
halo.
when he had the halo on his chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that the Beast costume, the blue and red one that he was wearing when he was human, I love that look.
I remember as a kid.
There's a lot to be said for that original X-Men run.
I remember as a kid
a
not
lot of
liking
people
Beast
don't
as a human.
recognize.
I'm like, why is he human? Is it stupid? He needs to
I
be
was gonna
blue.
say, he was blue and furry when I was first introduced to him, but then I
Yeah.
learned back like he was, oh, hey, look at that. I like this. You know.
Well, I was a big fan of Amazing Adventures when they were doing Killraven,
Oh yeah.
and I think Beast was on there before that. Beast was an unknown character to me before I picked up, and he was gray originally.
He was gray, yep.
Yeah, they didn't turn him blue for a bit.
Well, X-Men loves their blue mutants.
Yeah.
Everyone's blue. They don't have another color to choose from. You can't be any other color besides blue. Mystique, Angel.
And
Beast.
I did a
Nightcrawler.
T-shirt design for Motor City Con one time that Marvel had to approve of. Beast is not just blue. He is a very particular shade, a PMS number blue that we absolutely had to hit on that shirt.
Or you couldn't get their approval.
Yeah. They sent us, make sure you use this PMS color because that's the paint matching system. That Pantone matching system is what it stands for. But they had a specific number in the royal scale that he had to be because that's Beast blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to talk about. I found a great segue here. I'm talking about a beast of a project.
Beast of a project.
A beast of a project. Mr. Bennet has
Indieversity.
A guidebook to the varied worlds of independent comics multiverse. And we talked a bit about this before the show, and I've been following. You got 14 days left to go on the show. You've already crushed your goal. $3,000 to go. You're at $6,261. But tell us a bit about Indieversity. And I told everybody I love the logo. That logo's hot.
Thanks.
And thank you for spelling indie correctly. INDIE. Appreciate it.
I was going to say that.
Yep. It's not Indianapolis.
That's right.
Independent comics.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What's it about?
It like I said, it started out as a project during 2020 just to keep myself busy, and I thought it would be cool to sort of follow a Grant Morrison multiversity kind of setup to figure out where all our independent worlds were, quote unquote, in relation to one another. Like, hey, who's my neighbor? Okay, my Earth is this number. Who's the one above me, below me, beside me, that sort of thing. And it was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of really cool creators, find a lot of really neat new characters that I've just fallen in love with. I've loved every minute of it.
Cool.
So a creator could come to you and they could say, hey, Eric, I want to put my world in Indieversity. Do they send you over documents or how does that work? Do you send them a template or?
Well, I have some real specific sort of qualifications for getting in because my space is limited. I always prefer people to pick a straight up number or like an alphabet letter. Like I'm old school, the old Marvel, the old DC. That's what I like. A lot of folks like to work their imprint name into their Earth for brand recognition. So, that's the first thing. The second thing is I tell them to write a description of your world from an outside third person omniscient viewpoint. So basically, if the watcher's standing there saying, this is Earth 716, blah, blah. And the real problem folks have is I limit them to 600 characters, not 600 words, 600 characters.
Right.
To fit in, that's what fits in the block that I have. So you've got to be real right to the point.
Real concise.
Yep. And then the last part is, I tell them, okay, pick, the characters that you think best represent your world, and I send them a template that's a particular shape. And I said, they need to fit inside this square. You can make it as big as you want it because you can take that art later on and use it for promo purposes, posters, shirts, whatever you want to do with it. But I said, I need it to fit in this kind of square. and it has to be your characters alone against a completely white background. No special effects, no ground, no sky, nothing. Just your characters on white. And then when I get all those pieces, I put them together, show it to the creator. If they're good with everything that we put together, I've been like showing them off on a few Facebook groups, but I've also been saving them. And then whenever the campaign's done, I'll put them all together onto pages. I get 2 entries per page, and we're going to be easily at least 80 pages long at this point.
Cool.
I think the campaign says like 60 something, but we're I think upwards of 80 at this stage.
That's cool. Now this is the first time you're doing this book. I imagine that at some point someone's going to want an updated and expanded edition. You know how they are. I didn't get in the book. This is not fair. Do a new one. Are you planning on that, or what's the
initial plan was to just do this one thing and be done with it. But I mean, it's always possible. Hey, maybe if it goes over well and folks really enjoy it, we could do another issue. We could add more worlds in, and we could either do a supplement that's its whole standalone issue, or maybe we could say, okay, here, this is the expanded Indieversity now with 200 extra worlds, that sort of thing.
So there's Earth 313. Sounds like Michigan. Michigan. Sorry, Detroit area code. Earth 313 is the birthplace of the Dawn Kingdoms are in the age primeval. Through the star-spanning 21st century, Earth 313 has the birthplace of heroes, strong of will and full of noble purpose. So this is like all the characters, white background, no ground, like you said.
Correct.
Earth New.
These are the Gallant Comics folks. Yep.
Earth Standard.
Yep. That's my friend Roy Johnston. That's his world.
Okay.
Standard Comics.
And then you got a couple other ones in there. And how now is this the cover here? I'm looking at.
That's the regular edition cover.
Okay.
I have in addition to all the entries in it, I decided, like the text says there, I mean, it would be real easy for me to just sort of toss this together and be done with it. But I wanted it to feel like something more. So I came up with an 8-page framing story, a few pages in the beginning, a couple in the center, a few pages in the back. That'll tell a story about this whole situation. And the characters that you're seeing there on the cover, they're the ones who are actually in the framing story itself. They're all public domain characters that I took.
That's cool. I like this guy too. He's causing all this shit back here. This mad scientist. Look at him.
Yep, that's Professor Grant. Yep.
Oh man. It's always somebody in my family.
The dial that he's operating there, that was the artist Fish Lee. He came up with that. It's like a typewriter ball. Because
That's what I was going to say. That looks like an old IBM typewriter ball.
Because of all the sort of numbers and words and the different number letter combinations that some folks have picked, it sort of makes sense for this thing to just imagine it wildly spinning, and then it's sort of when it hits a combination, it sort of that viewer behind them sort of lets you look into that world.
Cool.
That's cool. I like that. And I like the different characters up here. That are going around. You can look into them, look into their worlds. That's pretty cool. Now we got another one cover here.
Yep, that's the Mitch Ballard Crisis homage cover. I've wanted to do that cover for a very long time. Initially it was just going to be a picture for the heck of it, but then I thought, you know what? It'll work nicely here with all the different characters we've got in the book. And it also hints at something more to come down the line. Like, I don't know if you guys know the book Power Company from Coalition Comics. Issue number 3 just came out, and there was a little interlude in there with something happening. There's a story element that happens in the framing story here, and I'm laying all these seeds that something big is going to happen down the road. So in all these different projects, I'm sort of hinting at this thing that's going to happen.
That's cool. That's cool. I see. It just seems like a project like this. let me ask you, because I guess I should start to do a project like this, bring to corral all of these cats, aka creators, all together. I understand how, so because the campaign's been up for 30 days. No, what? Not 30 days now. You got 14 days left. Was it? It's 14.
Yeah, I had 14 left.
So when you start this campaign, I'm led to understand your hair was all brown, but now that you've had to deal with all these creators, that's gone now. We've taken that from you.
Yeah, you'd think so. Actually, dealing with everybody actually hasn't been hard at all. It's been pretty easy. Everyone's been great about it. Really, like I said, I really enjoyed it. It gives me a chance to interact with them all and get to know them all. And I've loved every minute of it. It started out as something fun, but eventually here at the end, it's actually become work, and that's okay.
I think that again, it looks really good. You got the different characters there. Fee 26.
FE 26, like Iron, because the publishing house that those characters belong to is Iron Gate Comics.
Yeah.
So FE's Iron.
Yeah. Earth 28.
Yep. The sadly and much missed Steve Lytle.
Oh yeah.
He and I talked, and he agreed to have his world be a part of this. And we got it all set up and entered, and then unfortunately we lost him. But I've been allowed to keep it and continue it in the book.
Cool.
Earth M9, and I think that I like Earth M9. This will be Eric's beat. Eric, I dreaded dinosaur speed. He loves the manga. He loves the anime, and anime and manga. The only place where you can draw women that still look like women. Earth 10
That's the truth.
and Earth 11.
See, and all the Earths are in different times too. Like Earth 11 is in 1886.
Yeah.
So
Earth 12. And you got to add on too. Official handbook of the Deviation Nation.
Yep. These are all books that I did in the past. These books are basically like Marvel Universe style handbooks.
Mm-hmm.
They're full of independent characters, most of whom were on the DeviantArt platform at that time. So there's 3 individual issues and a trade paperback that contains all 3 of those issues plus an entire new issue. So there's actually 4 in the trade paperback.
Cool.
And that's my main character, Steel Wolf.
Tyrannus, the Thunderlord.
Yep.
You got a lot of stuff here. Now, let's look at the tiers real quick. Move this over. Sorry. $25 gets you the physical copy of the version that's the Mitch Ballard cover.
Right.
Which
I was
is
surprised that like the printing costs and everything like that ended up being more. I would have loved to have made the book less.
Mm-hmm.
But with printing and shipping and all that stuff, it's like this is as low as I could go.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because a lot of people are getting hammered out of nowhere with rising print costs due to paper shortages, shipping. There's a lot of stuff that's going into making these books, it's a little more expensive than they would be ordinarily. But the fans are still buying them, and I don't think anybody's getting too greedy right now, which is totally possible for people to say, if I can get $50 for a 30-page book, I'm gonna ask it. And some people are trying. You're throwing in a lot of free stuff too. It looks like, or a lot of.
These are add-ons.
Yeah,
these are add-ons.
$50 for the Indieversity and the Deviation Nation. You get hard copies of the Indieversity comic and the trade paperback. And that's $50. All expected to be delivered by December 2022.
My goal is May.
Okay.
That's the target I've set for myself. But Roy Johnston, who's a master at this sort of thing, helped me set this up. He did a lot of the legwork for me. And so he put December just to give me some cushion.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping May, personally.
We've done that with I say we, but Indie Princess, she did that with her book. She pushed it to December just so that she would have that cushion, like you said, to get her books printed. And thank God she did, because it's given her the time that she needed to get that book. done and find the best printing sources you could. This looks pretty good. I think a lot of people that we have watching the show will back it. Atrocity Press in the house says, what up, hello, Max. Dorival versus Tyrannus. And Carlos says that my metal morph is on the cover.
He's on the Mitch Ballard cover, yeah.
Jim Riley in the house says, oh, hello, Jim. Carlos says, ask him how long it took to get him Brave to launch.
Yeah.
It took you a while to launch?
It did. I did not want to launch, to be honest with you. I was terrified of how much work and how much time it was going to take. And, the guys, they were all real supportive and real helpful with me getting underway and everything like that. So I owe those guys a huge thanks. They're my support network.
That's cool. And I think that people, if you're listening on Indie Radio and you want to pick up this book, and he's shipping anywhere in the world, you can do so by heading over to Kickstarter and checking out the Indieversity campaign. Again, he's already crushed his goal, 118 backers, 14 days left to go. So you got a little over 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks now to get this done. And it looks like it's going to be it's going to be a book you want to have if you want to go through and see what worlds these characters are in. Eric told me he has a cool theory about how the Earths kind of move around. They just kind of merge into each other, and then they keep moving and they move past each other. So that's how these characters can interact. And it's a multiverse, but it's just indie.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an indieverse. It's an indieverse. It's a multiverse. And then you got the mainstream verse over there, and
I'm good. I dropped those guys a long time ago.
Over in the slums. It's really got to that point because I made a joke a couple of months ago, but you walk into a comic store and you're like, $7 for this book? It doesn't even come with a bookmark.
No, they lost me long ago.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I still go to the store and buy them because I'm a glutton for punishment. But
the only book that I get, and I only collect it in trades, that's like a modern book, is Thor, because I've been collecting Thor my entire life, and I'm not going to stop now.
You know what? My wife, she won a contest over the weekend, and she was allowed to get anything she wanted from the table. And at the time, I had my eye on one of those. Marvel's doing, or some companies doing these houses, like miniature game boards, and you can build like the base or the house. And I wanted this apartment, and it was gone. I'm like, damn. So she's like, I'll take the bag of comics. But inside the bag of comics was the old Berserker #1, the Keanu Reeves. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I thought this was like sold out everywhere. Or maybe it's not though. It how things go. But she had a lot of cool stuff in that bag, and yeah, I was upset about it because I'm now got more comics reading their mainstream things, and I try to read more indie, even though I still get weekly Marvel and DC books. But I still got a big trunk of indie books I got to read for reviews for indievote.com. Folks, head over there to Indieversity Project. The link to the campaign is in the chat as well as in the video description, so you can go over there and check it out and back this project from Mr. Eric Bennet. Eric, we're gonna make sure we look at this project and keep it on our radar, especially Thursday morning for Breakfast Buzz, which I'm gonna try to get in for. I'll be on the road. Headed to South Dakota for a con
this Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday. So I'm gonna try to get in there, and I'll be on the road, and I'll have much better internet than Eric's. But yeah, we'll get it working at least for a little while before I cross over into North Dakota where there's no internet. I just like driving through because I get to go to Wakanda, Wisconsin. I visited Wakanda, and I got to tell you, either that force field is working really good. I thought there'd be more black people. It wasn't. I was the only one around. it was just me. Let's take a look.
And if you were to ask anybody there in the town, they might not be humored.
No.
They might not think that's funny.
They'll be like, hey,
They'd probably all go, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
Yeah. You think you're so funny. You know what? There needs to be a Black Panther statue in the middle of the town. It should be.
Yes.
In the middle of Wakanda, Wisconsin, because in Italy, there is an Iron Man statue. For no reason whatsoever, there's an Iron Man statue. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. It's in, I forget what town it's in Italy. I was gonna actually share it at one point, like last week, but there's an Iron Man statue of him landing, and it's dedicated to Tony Stark, who gave his life to save us. And I'm like, what if we all drop dead and aliens arrive on the planet in 2 years and they find this statue? They're gonna think Tony Stark was real. Then my mind started wondering about like other things that weren't real that we think are real, and it's gonna be a horrible situation. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm moving.
Wasn't there's that Captain America statue in Brooklyn, right?
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Superman statue in Metropolis, Illinois, too.
See, I get that, and they want to put a RoboCop statue in Detroit. I get that, but Iron Man. I mean, I get Tony Stark is supposedly Italian, but what? Why? He's not. He wasn't born in that city. Like, we're gonna make an Iron Man statue. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at our next project from Mitch.
Sarah in the house. Hello, Sarah. How you doing?
Sarah?
Woo! Carlos says Arrow Comics needs to be in it. There's a lot of different universes that Arrow Comics envelops. So
there's too many.
Yeah.
Let's look at this book. Now, I'm gonna destroy the name. I know it's Southern Gothic. Is that Boger?
Boger. Yeah,
Boger.
The word ogre with a B in front of it.
Okay,
that's basically how I came up with the word.
Southern Gothic. Talk to us about it.
Okay, it is the second graphic novel, and or it's the follow-up graphic novel to the first one I did, which was just the Boger. And the whole series is about this monster who's essentially the god of vengeance. So like if you've been wronged in some way, you summon them through magic and send them after whoever you want killed. And the first one was, I did it, I started it about 10 years ago, and it was the Boger versus the mob, pretty simple story. This one goes into a more like murder mystery setting, and it's about or it focuses on Sheriff Hank Tate in the city of, or the town of Bethlehem, Mississippi, who as a child saw a man being murdered, and now as an adult he's the town sheriff, and he's investigating a series of murders of entire families by someone calling himself Mr. Crow. And and he kind of or he also finds another series of murders by the Boger of a prominent citizens around town. And as he's investigating both sets of crimes, he finds out that they're both related to the murder he saw as a child. So it's got a lot of like hidden survivor's guilt in it, because he was a kid. He never told anyone since that he saw this bad thing happen to this person. So now he's both coming to terms with his own survivor's guilt about the situation, and trying to stop these two killers from killing again. And it takes place in 1959, and I've really filled it with like that kind of like old school, just like rundown, swampy, deep South Southern ghost stories that I kind of grew up with. I'm from South Carolina, not Mississippi, but a lot of the folk tales and stuff kind of are the same. And it's not in Southern Gothic isn't really tied to the first one as far as you having to have read that one to understand this one. Each Boger book I do is entirely self-contained. And there are some elements that kind of drift over from one story to the next, but it's not something that you really have to keep an eye on. It's no more just world building than anything else.
So
And I'm sorry.
So the book itself is going to be black and white, though.
Yes.
Okay.
And,
I do like I like the usually I normally give Randy a hard time about black and white, but I do like how this looks. Detail on some of these characters, like especially this guy here looking the sheriff, looking at his notepad.
That's the deputy, actually. The guy with the hat is the sheriff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, which one got shot? Didn't the son shot the sheriff?
Oh.
That's an old joke. Too young for you, or too old for you. You're young, but
I know Eric Clapton. I know.
I do think that and I see you got a bunch of different perks here. $50 retail perk, by the way. Retailers, head over there and check that out.
In the art, by the way, I'm going back and adding gray tones before I have it printed, just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. Because I did gray tones in the original Boger graphic novel, and I like that. And in this one, I was looking back at some of the pages, and I was like, they're kind of dead just being just black and white. So to kind of add more depth to a lot of the artwork, I decided to add gray tones, just to make it kind of pop out that much more.
Now you've got a date of September 22 on here. Do you think you're gonna run right up to that, or did you make yourself a cushion as well?
I gave myself a cushion, primarily because anyone that's ever done crowdfunding before or just dealt with e-commerce before has run into the same issues of things being late, hurdles and roadblocks. So I set that date specifically to give myself enough time to finish the book and have it ready and shipped on time in case I find a roadblock or two. And like Eric said, it's going to be mine's probably going to be shipped out a lot before then. I just kind of, like you said, gave that extra time just as a cushion, so it's all smooth sailing when I get ready to ship.
Better early than late.
Yeah,
always.
Stretch goals: $2,000, one free mini comic with each purchase of the Boger Southern Gothic. 3,000 11 by 17 print with each purchase of the Boger Southern Gothic. Those 11 by 17 prints. Are you gonna fold them, or are you just gonna have to buy a larger envelope?
I'm not going to fold them.
Okay.
I was thinking of either getting a larger shipping package or rolling them up, depending on how they come out. Because if they come out on, or if I do them on really good paper, I don't want to roll it because it'll just stay rolled up. So I'll depending on the paper I use, I'll either roll it up or just ship it flat in the larger box.
I had some art come. The artist actually, they did a really good job of putting it in so that it didn't get bent. The package had got beat up, but it came from out the country. Like it didn't even come from, it was where did it come from? It came from the Philippines. Ended up coming from the Philippines, and because the artist, the creator and the artist in the Philippines, the creator was here, but I bought the original art piece, and they had to arrange to get it from the Philippines to me. And it took a while to get here, but when it did, it got beat up, but the art was fine. They took a lot of care in making sure that it wouldn't get beat up, especially internationally. That stuff can get pretty banged up. So this right here, now you're at $238. you have a goal of 530 days left. So you're sitting pretty. You're gonna end up going past this, and it looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And of course the description's in there. Now I seen here the Hawk of New York 6 featuring the Boger.
Hmm.
It's $5. That's an add-on?
That is also an add-on.
Okay.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Randy Bishop, does the Hawk of New York comic series, and one day he just came to me and said, how would you like the Boger to make a cameo in the Hawk of New York? I was like, yeah, sure, fine. So we kind of collaborated. I did the art on the Boger pages, and he inked them. And he, when I started the campaign, he offered a few issues of the Hawk of New York 6 as a add-on or a perk.
That's pretty cool. See, I would I'm bad about doing crossovers, and I'd say that having Eric here with the Indieversity book, but I'm horrible for it because I'm always like, why does my character have to do the job? Why is my character? That's probably why I didn't make it as a wrestler. I don't have to lose. I want to lose tonight. I want to win. It's funny. They disabuse you of that in wrestling really quickly. That whole I gotta win stuff, and you start not to care. You really do. You start, I think that may have prepared me a little bit more for comics than just being in the industry did. Just that time I spent chasing being a wrestler taught me, it's not always about winning. You have to, you win when the other guy looks good too. And so it's taught me that with comics, it's like my character can't always be the best. He has to get his ass whooped. He has to suck sometimes. Plus, they get to overcome adversity. That's the really cool thing. Who was it? Was it Chris Claremont that says that the more you love a character, the more shit you put him through?
I think so.
And it's like, because some of these characters should have checked out a long time ago. I couldn't deal with the shit that Spider-Man deals with. I would have walked off a bridge a long time ago. Randy, this particular book here, the Ogre, it reminds me of some of the for some, I don't know if you're getting the vibe, but it reminds me a little of some of the classic, but some of the older Caliber books that you gave me, and some of the old Arrow books in terms of the art style and the.
I think you were closer when you said Caliber books.
Yeah,
because some of the Caliber material was like that.
Yeah.
Again, Mitch is going to go through and add gray tones to that in order to really make the artwork pop as well. So
I think that'll look fantastic.
I think it will too. Really, really awesome. Some great effects you can get in gray tone. So, not to say that the artwork's bad already. That some beautiful line work, great stuff. So,
of course, it's not bad. I'm awesome.
There you go. You're awesome.
It does look good, and we're gonna make sure you follow this campaign as well. We'll check back in with it on Thursday morning, and I'm also trying to convince Mitch to send me this mug. I'm collecting mugs from different companies and cups. I want to drink out a different one each show, but there's only so many. And I got one from JD Rosario. I just got one from C4 the other day. I got my Kubert School cup. So I'm like, I have enough to go to like a couple weeks, of different cups. But right now I got McDonald's because I'm fat.
We'll have to start making that a thing on Thursday morning. Everybody drinks out of a different cup. Yeah.
Yeah. For the cup that you have today, I've got my cup from high school.
Got my Tigger cup.
So we're gonna make sure we take a look
complete with broken handle. Yeah.
I've been waiting for that handle. Like, are you gonna glue it back on, or is it just done?
I don't have it anymore. I bought this cup back in 2003. And the reason I know that is because I bought it when I was over at San Diego. We went and visited Disneyland. I bought a Pooh cup and a Tigger cup. The Pooh cup dropped and smashed into 1,000 pieces, and Tigger dropped and broke the handle. So
Mm.
but I love the size of them, and the cup itself is awesome. But I wish I still had the poo cup as well. But
There's a story I've seen online about a guy
who needs a cup of poo? Anyway.
His daughter came to him and said, Dad, where does poo come from? And he told her, about how we eat and it breaks down and we poop it out. And she looked at him confused. She says, and Tigger?
Yeah.
And she was mortified. Like, good going, Dad. Good going. This is Boger, and we are going to follow it. Again, it's a good-looking book. He's got original art for sale, too. If you're looking to start your original art collection or you want to just, add some more pages to it, here it is. He's making the pages all available. $200 for the most of them. I think I seen one that was colored. May have been a bit more.
It's a cover.
Yeah, that $350. Yeah, that's the cover. And $400 for the original art of this is original art 10. That's another cover.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at this fantastic ink work. Is this digital or this is not actually? It's not digital. It's going to be
No, it's by hand.
yeah, by hand. Yeah.
The lettering is digital. In the gray tones will be digital, but all the line work is by hand.
Gorgeous looking art. Gorgeous, especially this page here. I love this.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good stuff. It's also that your backgrounds, like the cross hatching, reminds me a lot of what Jake does, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Twista from Ted Tire.
Twista. Yeah.
Vista. I'm not high, I promise everyone. I've not had anything today. I'm sober. Go check out Boger on Indiegogo. Do it now. Go over there right now.
The Boger Southern Gothic.
Gothic. Boger is Bogre. Everyone.
Gre.
I keep thinking there's a video, but
It's all
get
good.
on it. Get on it, Mitch. Where's
I
that
wasn't
video?
able to do a video, but I do have a video lined up for my next campaign whenever I start that one. Yeah, I have a friend that does like indie film and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he was originally going to do a video for Southern Gothic, but because of current events, he had to get another job. So he was kind of lined up with with a lot of that stuff. So he didn't have time to do it by the time I was releasing or starting the campaign. But we talked and came up with an idea for a video for the next project I do.
Yeah.
Well, you saw mine. I've just got the logo hanging out there, so no video for there either. So
Yeah. It's like, what's up with the videos, guys? No videos? Okay. All right.
I had one lined up, but
Yeah.
things happen.
Guys, when you do send out your books, make sure that you send them out packaged carefully. And if you're on the fence about how to do that, well, our friends at Gemini Mailer have given us a coupon code VOLT10 VOLT10 for a 10% discount on your Gemini Mailer order. So if you go to GeminiComicSupply.com and you go to order your Gemini Mailers, use code VOLT10 VOLT10. So far, I spoke to the folks over at Gemini just last week, and they told me that people have already saved over $500 using this code so far. When you think about that, 10% off, and people have saved over $500. That's a lot of people using this code, so they're very happy with it. And VOLT10 VOLT10, go over there today and order your.
That's at GeminiComicSupply.com.
That's right.
Yes.
And then also,
and if you have a campaign out there, you've done any research at all, the Gemini Mailers is the way to mail out and fulfill your campaigns.
it's the only way.
In order to get the books there safely and secure. Yeah. It's the only
way. It's the only way. If you don't use Gemini Mailers, you don't respect your customers. There, I've said it. I will shield until I can shield no more. You guys both got great campaigns, so I'm gonna back both of those books myself. But I feel that and then of course when I get them, then I'll turn them over to the committee to start reviewing them
and tear them apart. This is lame.
Yeah. What is this? The best. I mentioned this before, but the best editor story I ever heard. Well, there was two. One was Jim Shooter. He had the memo in his book because when he comes to cons, he brings his Marvel memos in these binders. You can just flip through this. This is history. This, like notes and memos that he sent out. But the memo that I love that he sent out was his, notice. I know it's not company policy, but start making good comics immediately. And I thought it was great. Like, I know this is against company policy, but we might. And I like, well, this is great. This is great. And I had been afraid of Jim Shooter my entire life. Like, oh no, he's the big scary guy. And when I met him, he was sick, but he still took a picture with me and he looked at my artwork, and he said, "This is good stuff." And I mean, I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And I went back and I'm like, "Randy, Jim Shooter said my artwork is good." All of a sudden, like I had double D's. My chest was stuck out way out there. I was, Randy just told me I couldn't draw feathers for shit, so it was great.
Was that the same show? I don't think it was the same show. Was it?
It was within like 20 minutes of each other.
These are pretty cool leaves. Those aren't leaves. Those are feathers. Oh,
yeah. I had to draw. I redrew those feathers painstakingly after that.
I also told you to go back and get a picture, right? Get a picture of you and Jim Shooter with Shooter pointing at your portfolio and looking at you rather disgusted.
Yeah, and that's why I got that picture.
That's why you come back and said your stuff looked pretty good, because he actually looked at your portfolio.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, Jim Shooter said my artwork was good. Now all they need to do now is Jim Shooter. Why aren't there enough movies on comic book guys? Like, we got American Splendor with Harvey Pekar. Why is Ashton Kutcher not been Jim Shooter yet in a movie? I mean, start him off younger.
When he's too short.
Yeah, well, we can fix that. He was Steve Jobs.
Was he?
Yeah, he was Steve Jobs. I mean, you can imagine.
It's just not that much excitement in the comic book market.
I'm dying for a Kirby movie.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's like excitement. That's the guy right there.
That'll just be sad though, like depressing and stuff. Everyone ripping them off.
All depends upon the story that they're telling.
Yeah.
He had ups as well as downs.
I mean,
our friend Glenn Fleming is doing a great book. In fact, he asked me to write a foreword for it. About a couple of times he went over and visited Kirby at his house, got to meet his family, got to share dinner with him, had a long conversations with him. The Kirby was just an amazing individual, because nobody, I don't think, has ever matched his imagination level.
No.
And his passion for the industry, just amazing.
I want to show you just real quick. I'm not gonna play the sound. I'm just gonna show you real quick.
Because out of everybody, Kirby was the one who had the foresight to go, someday these things are going to be movies once Hollywood catches up to what we're able to do on the comic paper.
Just imagine
they might make millions of dollars.
Just imagine for a second, different words, and the subtitles are in different language, but just imagine this is Jim Shooter firing folks at Marvel. Here it is. It'd be great. He turns around and he's pissed. Okay, he's walking through this whole artist team and he wants to know why they aren't doing stuff right. Look, there's Claremont getting fired right now, and there's he starts yelling.
Probably be good. He could probably do that.
Yeah, he gets pissed. And
let me roll my eyes.
Yeah, he fires the guy.
I can see that.
Great. I'm clipping that whole scene from now on. Whenever somebody gets fired, you fire me. I already fired you. It's gonna be great. Speaking of getting fired, no, Randy, no one's getting fired, because I told you I sent them the Indie Vote trophies. There they are. They're on their way. They haven't been made yet, but they are being made. Nice little black stands right there.
Congratulations to Jonathan Maracino.
We talked about actually putting some LED strips in there, And we're like, nah, you know, if people
They
want
don't
to
have-
pimp their trophies, I think do that themselves.
They're fancy enough.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So the Indie Vote Awards were a couple weeks ago. We're very
Just-
happy, and
Just make sure you send my power battery when you send my ring.
that's right. That's right.
I
You
got
got
some flying to do.
you got a
I'm
Hall
not,
of Fame ring coming.
I don't look good in a Green Lantern outfit though. A little too skin tight for me.
Also, Randy, I wanted to actually bring to your attention, and I don't know if these guys have seen it too. I'm pretty sure they have. If they, you follow Indie Vote.
This isn't another one of them stray films, is it?
No. This is we're talking about a couple of things, but Jody McPhee today got some art back. I got a book back he sent.
Yes,
And
I
the
saw
articles-
that. I saw that. Yeah.
And the article's on Indie Vote. We did an article there.
Mhm.
Here's the article. We talk about what happened to poor Joe. But the thing is,
He sent that book out media mail, and they opened it up and sent it back
Yeah.
to him, didn't they?
which they are subject to do when you sign up for media mail and
Yeah.
you send anything in the mail, you're subject to have it opened, and they go through it and pull out shit. And but the thing is, the rule always said that if it didn't have an ad in it, you were good. Well, so many people tend to just see a comic book and assume, oh, there's ads in here,
Right.
and there's no
it
ads
looks
in
like a
Joe's.
magazine. Yeah.
There's no ads in Joe's
Pardon
book,
me.
but they sent it back. And Joe was really upset. He can't get his money back, and he was
No.
also upset about the condition in which he sent it back. I mean, because they ripped the book open. And when you work in our industry, presentation guys is like 90% of everything else.
Yep.
Imagine the book would have been fine and would have gone through. It would have been, the presentation would have been piss poor when the customer got it, and you best believe they'll let everyone know, oh, I got this book from Exigency Studios, and it came all beat up and stuff, and the tape is, and there would have been very little Joe could do to explain to them that he didn't send it out that way.
Now, did he send out a number of packages at that time, or just that one?
I'm not sure. So here's what we did at Indie Vote this morning. Once we found out about this, we called. We called, and I spoke to someone over in the USPS Shipping Solutions, a young lady by the name of Nicole, and she told me, she said she directed me to the USPS DMM, which is their mailing manual, and it lists all the rules as it's their Bible. It's about 1,300 pages, and it's linked in this article. You can go check it out. You can download it yourself. Domestic mail manual, and it is page 124 was the one that had the information on it, and there is no it does not outlaw comics. Children's books are okay, and it's like, well, they contain art though. They contain pictures. You pick up a children's storybook, there's pictures and a word, word balloons, or word, some words that are on the page. Pretty much the same as a comic. What's wrong with a comic book? And there is nothing. They haven't outright banned comics. It just seems like, I mean, they do say in this one part of their site, if you go to the media mail service, we've highlighted it. Comic books are what to tell you. Comic books do not meet the standard. We've made it red so everyone can see it. So if you want to go over there to indievote.com, it's the article titled Media Mail Hell. But for some reason comic books don't meet the standard. Books, CD-ROMs, they say any computer readable media can go, but not video games. Now that's kind of weird, because it's like, well, what is a video game if not a computer readable media? What do you? But CD-ROMs can go, books, children's books, film, 16mm film,
Thumb drive.
you could probably send a thumb drive. Yeah, you can send a thumb drive, but that's it. They don't want you sending comic books, and I've
They
been talking,
specifically excluded comic books.
and that one thing up there, they specifically excluded comics. And when I was speaking to the lady today, I said, this is a great opportunity for some company like UPS or FedEx to say, oh, you don't want the money? We'll take it. Hey, bring those comics over here. We'll ship them.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. I mean, what do you guys think? when you ship your books, I mean, media mail is alluring because it's cheaper. I've never seen. I mean, I've shipped out books media mail, and they got there. I shipped one. It got there the next day. It was here in Michigan.
Yeah.
So it was like right doorstep, but it got there the next day. I think the longest I had a book take was 4 days. What do you guys think?
Eric, Mitch, what do you think?
I'm trying to put it into words that won't get your channel taken down.
There's very few words that you can say that'll get our channel taken down. You're familiar with them? Don't say them. We are TVMA DLSV.
Yeah. I mean, I never understood the issue with media mail and anything with advertisements in it, like it mattered. But to specifically point out comics that don't, as something that doesn't meet that criteria is a little funny to me.
Yeah, that's kind of squirrely.
And as not to get on my high horse, but as a lover of the free market, I agree with Varian that this is a great chance for UPS or FedEx to jump on. I've had issues with the post office in multiple areas, both sending mail and receiving mail. It's again, not to step on my stand on my high horse, but it's the big thing about there's very little competition in the area of mail. So the post office kind of has this mentality of we can do whatever we want to and answer to nobody. Because for most cases, you can't just go to another company to ship a letter, because I don't think that FedEx and UPS are allowed to ship letters, or anything in general. You can't just go somewhere else. And I think that's a big problem in our culture, as far as like services go. Is the post office is one thing that I think competition really needs to happen in.
I keep looking at that picture, trying to find out trying to identify what's going on there.
Well, well, we got Joe here. He's in the chat. Joe, if you want a link to pop in real quick and say, tell us what happened.
What I found insult to injury is that I got commercial comics from a comic store via media mail too. They opened mine, but not that one. Just too arbitrary.
Yeah. And
your best bet, Joe, is just resend it. Resend another copy, absorb that loss for the postage, and resend it media mail. And if you get it returned again, then send it first class. Or cut out the chance again of having it returned to you. Just send it first class. It's a couple bucks more, but at least you'll know it'll get there.
I think that's probably what I would be more inclined to do.
Yeah, but with media mail, they're allowed to open you up. They can reject you anyway.
Atrocity Press says, stay away from the media mail. Just use 3-day shipping with tracking and charge for it. Yeah. It's the best way to avoid problems with the lost office.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
because you're probably lucky they returned that package instead of just toss it.
Yeah, because I've heard sometimes the package just gets lost. It's done.
Yeah,
they'll toss it out in the trash. I got a chance to weigh in on here about
Here comes Joe now.
What's going on? Is he here?
I've heard sometimes the package just
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
Toss it out in the trash.
We have an echo.
I got repacked up and everything, so that's why I was going to do that anyway to resend it.
Could you turn down your YouTube? I think you're watching us on YouTube when we still.
Hold on. Okay, that should be better.
Yeah.
I got it repackaged up, ready to send back out. Already. But what worried me was this.
So they took your custom tape off.
Retaped it. They actually retaped it.
Is that what that is?
They actually, if you see the clear tape on it, that's from where they opened it up and they retaped it back down to send it back to me.
Right.
And I'm up here, it's like, because normally it's like if it was having the wrong postage on it, they wouldn't open it up. They would just send it back to you. But as you can see, they opened it up, they retaped it, they sent it back to me with the explanation that comic books is not part of media mail. I was like, okay, I just put more posters on it, but my disgust is you're tore up the packaging that it was in.
Is that a custom bag?
And I'm up here, like, now I gotta go. Now I'm out of packaging material because of the simple fact that you just couldn't just send it back, just say return to sender. You know, this has comic books.
Is that a custom bag, Joe?
Yes.
So yeah, you spent money on those custom bags, and wow.
So and that's what I'm saying with media mail. It's like what I also got in the mail today, and I'm not going to dox the company because I showed a picture of it via media mail. Media mail. Yeah. I end up getting this from a comic book store. So I'm up here. It's like, what's arbitrary? Because I know that this has advertisements up in it.
Yeah,
my book doesn't. So it's like, I guess my problem is, it's like what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander. And it's like,
no, not when it comes to USPS. You had somebody that was nosy and opened up that package, saw it was comics, and just sent it back to you.
Mm-hmm. You know what I found, Joe, that I stopped doing, and it's when I send out books. A lot of the times, especially if it's from my publishing company, I will send the book out through Liberty. So it says Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group. And they see the word comics in your title. Oh, it's a comic book. Open it up. Let's find out what it is. If you said books or press, they might let that slide. They don't know what a press is. They figure, oh, maybe it is a novel. Maybe it is a thin book. But the minute you put comic, and my name of my company is Last Call Comics. The minute you put that in there, it's a comic book. Let's go in there and see what it is. But the fact they open your custom packaging,
that's the thing, dude. I don't have comics on here. Nowhere on it. It has the company name, my name, and the front facing where it has the CGC Studios. Nobody has any idea what's in here that this could represent anything.
Yeah.
But again, when you send stuff by media mail, you leave yourself open to be subjected to being
exactly, and that was the
back
thing.
To you.
Yeah. That was the thing. But the thing about it is, normally they would have stopped it. Well, there's two things. One, I use pre-postage on that first package. It's like on this one, I'm sending it now priority, but it's pre-postage. Meaning I went through like stamps.com or ShipStation or something to that magnitude. Now the
call for alcohol comics.
Yeah. The key thing about that is that normally when there's a problem like that, I could ask for a refund on that postage. But because they scanned it and sent it back to me, I'm out of that postage as well. So it's not only just the packaging and everything, I'm out of the postage, the three and odd some dollars. That part I'm not upset about. I was more upset about you ruined the packaging, you ruined the Gemini mailer, you did all of this stuff just to get in there, just to verify what was in.
And the other thing that's kind of upsetting was that I called USPS today just when I was getting this article together, and they said, she told me, she says, no one even knows where the check happens. It normally does not happen at the post office. It normally does not happen at your local post office. It's somewhere during the transit where someone says, "Oh, I better open this up and figure it out or see what's in here." And she told me that there's times where it will get checked twice. There's no okay, good to go, stamp. So yeah, Joe checks it, and then Mitch lets it go past. Eric might say, I'm gonna take a look at it to see what it is. He opens it. He says, I don't care, it can go. And then you get some asshole like me or Randy who's like, this is a comic book. This isn't going anywhere. I'm sending it back. And so you've got all these. It starts not to be worth the risk, and that's why I'm wondering. I suggested in the article and a couple other places, maybe if UPS or FedEx doesn't want the business, maybe contacting your postmaster general and blowing his voicemail up, letting them know that, hey, I'm a comic book distributor, or a comic book publisher. I ship a lot of comics. You're screwing my business over. Why can't I take advantage of media mail? You know,
Well,
I don't have ads in my
go one
books.
deeper than that.
Mhm.
Because remember, you only show part of what I found out. You didn't show the other rules here.
Yeah.
Because any work of fiction technically does not fall up under media mail.
Yeah.
It has to meet a specific requirement for either educational or informational purposes.
If
works of fiction does not fall up under that for media.
If anybody's interested, go over to indievote.com. Look at this article. It's called Media Mail Hell, and download that USPS DMM. It's right there. The link is right there, and it has all these rules that the post office has that you never even knew that you never even knew they had them. No fiction. It's a weird set of rules. Brian K. Morris says,
and yet again, if you have to be informational, that might explain a lot of Marvel's content lately. In order to get mailed.
Brian K. Moore said, I sent paperbacks via media mail and they've been open, albeit not too often. Most of the books don't have advertising, even for my own work. The post office run by Satan.
Well, all you need is one or two little power hungry people up there who kind of catch you, because Mark up here at Grand Rapids Con popped in and says, my post office opens almost everything. It sent media mail. So I stopped. I do everything first class. Right. The reason for that is you've got somebody up there at one of the post offices who's looking for media mail stuff, because they can open it. They will open it just to have that power satisfaction. And remember, if they find comics, send it back.
Well, not just that too, Randy. But consider this, and I'm just being the bad guy here. When I worked at the UPS store, people would come in ever so often and they'd bring in things for UPS, not noticing they were missing an S, and or they were adding an S. And like, hey, we're UPS. That's USPS. You can't send that here. And my boss told me, don't argue with them when they put the package there. Put it down on the floor. We have a cart for it, and they have 2 weeks to come back and get it. If they don't come back and get it in 2 weeks, we keep it. So I would wonder if someone at the post office was thinking, and it should be illegal, oh, this has been discarded, I'll hang on to this. Mm-hmm. Especially with Mark, because Mark's sending out, he's Grand Rapids Comic Con, he's sending out a bunch of stuff. Someone might think, oh, well, this might be art, this might be, I'll just check it.
They recognize Mark's name's what it is, so they're the Grand Rapids Comic Con name, so they open it up, it says comic on it. Let's open it up, see.
See if I can take this home with me. Rodney says, both my parents retired from the post office. The rules used to be, if any mail or packages fall off the automated system, they can't pick it up and put it back on there. My dad used to bring me comics home. See, there it is, right there.
Yeah,
proof confirmed.
Oh, this is a comic. Oh, dropped on the floor. Oh.
My friend,
you're lucky to have that return, Joe.
Yeah, my friend, his mother was a teacher, and she used to think that she could take. She told the kids, if you bring a video game to school, I will take it and take it home and give it to my kids. Mm-hmm. And she tried that, and one day my buddy got a call. He had to go to the hospital right after school because his mother had been hurt, and some parent came up there, and Mitch knows where this is going. Some parents said, you're not taking my kid's video game, and went up there and whooped up on his mama something fierce. I remember that. I remember his mom working for King for a year and a half. Sorry. That's kind of funny. Yeah, it is. He's probably watching too. I'm sorry, man. That was funny when your mama got her ass whooped though.
Wow.
Guys, we have come to the close of our show,
and that's the time that Sim pops in. Hello,
it sure is. Sim, a winner, by the way. What did he get? He got best artist of the year, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Did he?
Best artist of the year. He did. I can't believe it. I don't know who he paid off in the voting pool, but I'm gonna find out. The investigation continues.
It wasn't me.
No. First person says it wasn't me is usually the person.
Wasn't me.
Joe, where can people find you at, and how can they get a hold of your comics that apparently can't be sent media mail anymore?
Oh, you can get in contact with me via the company website, which is cgcstudio.com, where you can pick up the Indie Vote nominated Primetime Saturday Night for Best ongoing series and best graphic novel there, as well as Amazonia, as well as the original AWF series. I could also be found on Facebook up under Joe D. McPhee and CGC Studios, or on DeviantArt up under Silverbolt 14. And if you can catch me on my podcast on Saturdays at 9 o'clock.
Very cool. Also, got an anonymous question here. It says, what is your favorite Facebook group and why is it the Comic Related Madness? I can't.
I have no idea who would have sent that.
No idea who sent that. Also, there is. Oh, did I miss anything? No, I didn't. Okay, thought I missed it, but I didn't. And also, oh, Hail Pops. Okay, I'm back on track now. All right, and
Brian
then,
K. Morris says to get Joe's comics, go to Joe's home. The only way to guarantee the post office doesn't intercept it.
go over to Joe's. Eat at Joe's.
Eat at Joe's.
Mitch, how about you, sir?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Mitch Rogers. I'm also on Instagram at Mitch Rogers 2. The number 2. I almost said letter again. Yeah, the number 2. And my website is CelticCrossComics.com. There you can find everything I've done so far. Purchase it. Anything. I do ask if you're having trouble purchasing, though, please contact me so I can find out what the problem is, because that's happened before, and no one contacted me, and like a year went by and I didn't know. I was wondering, why is no one buying anything? Well, that was why. But yeah, CelticCrossComics.com.
Cool. Eric, before that, we got a question for you. It was from Rodney. He says, hey, Eric, how many universes in your Indieversity project?
At last count, it was about 130.
Cool.
I would like to stick some of my stuff in there, Rodney, but I'm not sure. I mean, Eric, but I'm not sure that you have room.
The lowest number I have is 0. The highest number is like 6 digits long. I think I got room.
I'll message you about it. We'll figure something out. Where can you be found, Eric?
I'm all over the place. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Eric N. Bennet. I have dedicated pages there for Steel Wolf and for Tyrannus. You can contact me through the Coalition Comics page, through the G-Man Comics page. I'm on Instagram at Steel Wolf Official, and I'm on DeviantArt, not as often as I used to be, but it's Ursa Magnus.
I was going to say nobody's on DeviantArt as often as they used to be.
No, I've drifted away.
And Randy, how about you, sir?
Hey, folks, I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim, though I don't go up there very often. You can find Arrow Comics 4.0 over on Facebook, on Instagram, also on Twitter. Again, we do have a link tree page for you to go to. There's also a Friends of Arrow Comics 4.0 group over on Arrow Comics. Go over there and take a look at some of the products that we're doing. I can't wait for you to read a couple of books that we're just waiting to take to the printer that I'm very excited about. Plus, if you like this Indie Volt podcast, Varian and myself, probably myself to start with, if Varian gets in front of the microphone fast enough, we'll be here for Breakfast Buzz Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And then on Sunday mornings, I do a show called the Sunday Funnies, where we try to concentrate on the fun and more whimsical side of comics, so the conversation tends to wander in all sorts of very strange and bizarre directions. We try to put the fun back in funny books Sunday morning on the Sunday Funnies program here on the Indie Volt Network at 9 a.m. Sundays Eastern Standard Time.
Very cool. And then you can find me, KYD_V on Twitter. Also check out Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, LEDG.US, helping you get your independent comics in stores all over the place. Cool service. 100% fill rates for retailers. Also for retailers, the Liberty Pledge. If you get a book from Liberty and you can't sell it, Liberty will buy the book back from you or trade you for a book that you can sell. Also for the vendors, the publishers, you set your own pricing, and Liberty doesn't take any fees off of your books. So there's no splitting the money that you're making. It's 100% yours. So check out Liberty today, Liberty Entertainment Distribution, ledg.us. It's a great company. I don't know. I own it.
And there's more retailers and more publishers signing on all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a great, very unique distribution service for retailers to help them make money, as well as publishers make money off of independent and alternative comics.
Mm-hmm. Also, Randy, people want to send in their questions and we can make fun of them. You can do so at IndieVoteLive at IndieVote.com. Please include IndieVote Live in the subject and keep those emails to 90 words or less. And we want to thank everybody. We want to thank the 82,406 people listening on IndieVote Radio. Thank you. You can download IndieVote Radio on Google Play, or if you have an iPhone, download Streamer or TuneIn, or listen on Alexa. You can ask Alexa to play IndieVote Radio for you. You can also go to the IndieVote.com page, and toward the middle of the page, there's a radio player. You can click there and listen in live too. You can even request songs from that player. And then maybe radio isn't your thing. IndieVote TV on Roku. We got our own over-the-top streaming network. It's totally free. We got a bunch of independent movies up there. We got some long-form content. So like when we do IndieVote LiveWire and they say, YouTube says, you can't say that on our air. We say, that's fine. We'll go put it on our own. You sons of, you know what? So we put it up there in IndieVote TV. It looks a little bit different now. There's Vicky Votes next to it, but just, you go to Roku, type in IndieVote TV, you'll find it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for being here.
You have to make a fresh card.
Yeah, I do need to make a new card. I want to thank you guys for being here.
Before we go, should we mention our other sponsor?
Oh, shit. I almost forgot.
You almost forgot. Folks, we have a sponsor here at IndieVote that we want to let you know about.
Oh, here we go. I'll run the ad real quick.
I'll run it.
Oh, you're going to run it?
I can hit it.
This video is sponsored by Too Hard, the #1 natural erection formula. You can never be too hard.
But you can't be too broke.
Can be too broke.
You can't be too broke.
That is a dietary supplement. If you want to jump over to that website, make sure you're an adult because it does have adult content. There is also a dietary supplement over there as well for women because you can never be too wet as well.
I begged it. Never mind. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. But remember, what you don't want to do, Randy, you don't want to show up and this happens.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off me.
That'd be a bad way to show up. That'd be horrible. Guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to let everyone get out of here.
As we go out the door, we want to remind everybody of the immortal words of Mr. Jack Kirby, who says, kid, comics will break your heart.
Into pieces. I'll take us out of here. You guys have a great night. We'll see you back here Thursday morning. No Geekgasm tomorrow. Lola's still catching up with schoolwork, but I may do something special instead in her absence. So
oh, you want to do a Wednesday night stream?
I should do a Wednesday night stream, a Wednesday night roast stream. I just roast everything.
We can do a guygasm, something like that. Yeah. We can ask the eternal question.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
No. this show,
never know.
This show descends into penis jokes by the end of the show. You notice that? All right. I'll see you guys later. Here's the ending. Here we go. Take us out.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
How dare you!